Hello, denizens of the interwebs. This is Chosen of Cain. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Anyway, welcome to a Let's Play of Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden. For those of you unfamiliar with the Super Robot Wars series, I'll give you a small overview. This is a game from Japan, obviously. Oh, let's just... New Western Calendar, year 187, December. It has been several months since the finale of what would later be referred to as the Balmar War. While the Earth was saved from great danger thanks to the Londo Bell and SDF forces, this came at a heavy price. The shockwave generated by an ultra-gravitational collapse during the Balmar War's final battle would reach the Earth in 6 months' time, doing massive damage to both the colonies and the Earth's surface. However, this information was suppressed by the Titans, who dissolved the SDF and Londo Bell forces and ensured that most people would never find out the truth. Chapter 1. War Again. Oh man. Warning alarms. That's never good. Oh fuck. Looks like we're being attacked by mobile suits. That's the Titans! Father and Hayato are out of all the times, too. How they managed to reach here through all the Far East's defenses? To the new Sao Tome Research Lab. This is Lieutenant Junior Grade Jared Mesa of the Titans. Disarm immediately and stand down, otherwise the Titans will open fire. What? Stand down for the Titans? That's right. Give up the lad and Shingeta Robo to us immediately. What? What do you plan to do with Shingeta Robo when you get it? You guys ought to know the answer to that. We'll use Getter and Project Aegis over at the DC Japan branch. What did you say? How could they know about that? Guess that's only natural. They've watched Asia ever since the Balmar War. Could it be they let us set up Project Aegis so they could do this? Musashi, Benkei, we sortie. There's no reason for us to hand ourselves over. Yeah, they think we'll just let them waltz in like they own the place? Guess that means they'll defy us after all. I won't let any of you ruin the peace we fought so hard to win. Peace? You think the world is at peace right now? Have you, the SDF, and the Londo Bell all forgotten what you caused last time? The gravitational shockwave you all caused will reach the Earth soon. Thanks to that, there could be huge consequences. In short, you went too far. Shut up! If we hadn't, the Earth would be destroyed right now. Big talk from some guy who didn't do a thing before. But we Titans were the ones to keep the peace after the war. Because of that shockwave, protecting the Earth is impossible. Quiet! Project Aegis is in its final stages. It can stop the ultra-gravity wave. Do you intend to hinder that? Right now, we should all be... I told you, we want to execute that project on our terms. Since the Titans have not only the Far East base in DC Japan, but the Earth. What? Ryu, what he's saying might be true. The Federation's Far East base and the Photonic Labs are also under attack. What did you say? Then what about DC Japan, where Dr. Sao Tome and Hayato are? It's just a matter of time until the Titans have control of Japan. Disarm! You think we'd give in to that kind of threat? There are tons of super robots besides ours in Japan. It's not going to be that easy. Very well. then we'll take the new Saotome lab by force. Musashi, Benkei, don't let the enemy get into the new Saotome lab. Yeah, I know. So that was their first taste of Super Robot Wars. Now this Alpha Gaiden was a game for the original PlayStation. And like I said, it was released only in Japan. Very few games have been translated into English by fan translators and the like. This is one of them. The other ones being, I think, if I remember correctly, Super Robot Wars J and Super Robot Wars 1 and 2, if I remember correctly. As you can see, this game is about, well, super robots. But not just super robots, real robots like Gundam and stuff are in it too. Basically, it's every anime fan's like what would happen if, you know, the Gundams teamed up with the Getter Robo team? Well, we finally get that answered in these games. And we're gonna see our combat for the first time. Son of a... Yeah, as you can tell, the Getter Robo is kind of a badass. Get. Sorry, I just love the music. That's the other great thing is that whenever a unit attacks, a version, their theme song or a song from their respective series plays. So that's my turn. And we're just gonna get the shit kicked out of us by the Titans here. Sadly, as they're saying, we don't have Hayato here, which means we cannot actually combine into the Shin Getter Robo, which is the super badass robot. And yes, as you can see, is that each combat phase between robots is basically the same as just about every other kind of Japan tactical RPG, Fire Emblem, you know, stuff like that, where they attack me and then I get a counterattack on them. Now, the reason why these games really have not come to America, except for the original Generation series, is because just the mass amount of copyrights that are involved in these games. I mean with the huge, these games get huge casts. Oh, more talking. I'll finish my thought after this. Musashi, what's wrong? If you space out on us, you'll get shot down. Ryo, Benkei, you guys go join the Prof and Hayato at DC's Japan branch. What are you saying, Musashi? That'd mean they would occupy the lab. If something happens to DC Japan, Project Aegis might not stop the shockwave. So I'll do something about this place. You two head for DC Japan. Don't overdo it, Musashi. What do you think you could do by yourself? Without Hayato here, you can't combine into Getter. I'll surrender to buy time. Surrender to the Titans? Don't be ridiculous, Musashi. But look, the Titans are after the lab and Shin Getter Robo, right? They'll be unable to unseal it from underground. It'll just buy us more time. So you guys can worry about protecting DC Japan. I'm telling you, get going. If that project fails, we're screwed either way. May not be that bright, but even I can get that much. Musashi is right. They shouldn't attack the lab itself. So go join Father at DC Japan. You can't let the Titans take it over. What do I do? So this is the first kind of, not necessarily a route split to come in later on, but the first kind of decision that you can make. Now normally I would stay and defend the lab, but Ben K kind of got wrecked in that last fight. And I have no way to heal him, so I'm gonna head for the DC Japan bridge. Alright, Ben K and I will head for DC Japan. Hey, is that okay? Like Musashi and Miss Michiro say, we can't afford to lose DC to the Titans. If Project Aegis fails, then the Balmar War we fought would be meaningless. Okay, I'll do as you say. Alright, it should be clear this way. If we get that far, we should be able to escape. Got it, Ben K? Yeah. So we're gonna have Ben K and Ryu, kind of have a tactical retreat, whereas, and we're just gonna have Musashi here be a BAMF and just tank things like a boss. So I was saying before about copyrights is, these games have upwards of 10 to 15 different series. So then you have to think about that. If the game is made in Japan, you can just go straight to the people who make the series, the anime series or whatever, and say, hey, we want to use your robots in this game. And they'd be like, oh, okay, cool. That works. But in America, you have to go through the people who do the localizations and all that, plus copyright laws in Japan and America are different, you know, just all kind. It's just a huge mess. They're trying to flee. All units pursue the escaping Get Machines. Jamaicon said to capture the Get Machines in working order. Is this okay? Who cares? If we can unseal Shingenro, well, Project Aegis will work. Plus, if we take those two out, it'll be a crippling blow to the Getter team. Fine then. We owe them some payback from the Balmar War after all. And what they were just talking about, the Balmar War and everything, is that Alpha Gaiden, as you might guess if you know Japanese, Gaiden. I'm not entirely sure if it's a literal translation, but I think it's like sequel or something. Alpha Gaiden is a sequel to Alpha. There are multiple different timelines within Super Robot Wars. Some games are standalones. Some games have timelines. The Alpha timeline is one of the most well-known, but the Z timeline is also another one that a lot of people might know. Which I think about. Sadly, that one does not have. It's not English. So if I did do an LP of that one, it would all be in Japanese. And that ends that. Because we escaped, so we're heading to DC Japan now. This is the intermission. The intermission screen is you get stuff. You can check out unit info, unit upgrades, where you can upgrade their HP, their energy, their speed, their armor, and limit. I don't really know what limit is, but HP, self-explanatory. Energy is that Energy helps a unit move if it's flying. If it tends to use energy laser weaponry, then those usually drain the energy. Speed does not actually have to do with movement, but how quick the unit is when it comes to evasion and stuff like that. Armor, obviously, how much damage it rejects, reduces, and then limit. I don't know what limit does, but we're gonna increase the HP a bit, energy, speed, 10,000. You can switch pilots to other units if you have that. Like usually you can switch like Gundam pilots around. You can upgrade the weapons. I don't have enough, but pilot info, so what their spirit abilities are, kind of like what their what the pilot's ability is. They do different stuff. Like Benkei has Guts. What Guts does is it increases that a single unit's HP by 30%, but also shows you its melee, its ranged, his defense, his finesse, his evade, and his hit. So you can also upgrade pilot parts. You can find parts and stuff. They're dropped by enemies or modules. So those are for like certain units that have like different versions of that by the different modules they can do. Obviously save, load, and then settings. All self-explanatory. And then one mystery command we don't know. I'm just gonna switch on to the next map and see what we got. Pretty cool picture of a robot right there. It's cold. The starry sky is so pretty, Jidao. Yeah. I like Japan since there's different seasons like this. There's nothing like that on Axis. Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be Christmas soon. I heard Mr. Garrison was making treats for Mr. Garrison! Oh! Yeah. Say something else besides yeah, Judao! Ah, so, Pru agrees with me. Come on, jeez, Judao. That's all you've been saying all night. Yeah. I guess you're worried about everyone in the Londo Bell? That too, but... Or maybe you're worried Lena back in You're worried Lena back in Shangri-La. About Lena, I'm guessing is what it's supposed to be. If that's the case, you should have brought her along here. It couldn't be helped. She said that she can't stand getting preferential treatment. But if Banjo's plan works, Lena should be fine, right? Yeah. In that case, all we have to do is help. Help Banjo and the others out as much as we can. She's been trying so hard to cheer me up. Even though Puru 2's been missing since the Balmar War ended. Judao! Hey, Judao! What's wrong, Puru? Some get machines are coming here. Get machines? Ryoma and company? I wonder if something's happened. As you are aware, Project Aegis is basically a giant shield created by a global network which is capable of covering the Earth to defend the Earth from the oncoming shockwave caused by the last fight of the Balmar War. Wow, no matter how you put it, that's the most ludicrous countermeasure I've ever heard of. Well, the idea of covering the Earth sphere as a giant shield is pretty far-fetched, but this was initially designed as a countermeasure in the Balmar War to deal with the possibility of a real alien invasion. So that's the reason why the lunar microwave station was built, for an energy source. I thought it was pretty absurd myself when I first heard of it at DC headquarters. It sounds like Dr. Bian intended to battle the Arrogator, the SDF as a spear, and Project Aegis as a shield. Of course, the one who originally proposed the idea was scientific genius of the DC named Dr. Edmund. I met him 4 years ago at the DC EOT Summit, but I haven't seen him at all since then. At any rate, his Operation Protective Screen proposal was the project's basis. That's the DC for you. They must have had tons of ideas besides that one, right? Yeah, they also have an artificial hibernation facility in the works to preserve the seeds of mankind. Kind of like the moon cradle below the lunar surface near Von Braun. But taking our time limit into consideration, Project Aegis is the most reliable plan we have. However, Professor, the simplest theories are often the most difficult to implement. In concrete terms, there have been many satellites equipped with gravitational shields and deployed in lunar orbit at 128 points, like a constellation. The microwave stations that DC builds will function as a conduit and transfer the energy channeled into it to those satellites, which should be enough to generate a gravitational shield roughly matching the moon's orbit. Currently, Project Aegis is in its final stages thanks to a joint effort between the Haran Corporation and Mao Industries. So the major issue at hand would be how much energy a shield that big would require. Right. The lunar microwave station by itself will only be able to supply about half the energy protected it will require. That would make it very difficult to sustain a shield covering everything. Our original plan was to make use of the Macross's reactor, but it was confiscated by the Titans at the same time as the SDF was dissolved. Several days ago, they also occupied South Italia Island. I don't know what that was, sorry. Where DC HQ was located. I thought it was odd that we lost contact with them. That's a very nondescript way. It's like, oh, well, all of our friends were just attacked by our enemies. Well, whatever. They might be dead, but we can work around that. The vice president of the DC, Shu Shirakawa, is missing. His whereabouts unknown. Masaki went after him back to Legias, whatever. There's been no word since then. Due to that, the DC's activities are in something of a deadlock at the moment. In fact, the Titans took South Italia Island means they must have also taken control of the SRX project since it was transferred to there. Yes, sir, the Titans have done a fine job of keeping them in check. Nothing from the SRX team. Plus, the kid who was piloting the SRX project's latest machine has also gone missing. As things stand now, here at DC Japan, we've just barely kept Project Aegis moving. We need to somehow solve the energy issue and ensure Project Aegis succeeds. By doing so, we'd save the Earth sphere from the shockwave, and you want to make use of that super energy sources in Japan, such as Mutron energy, photonic energy, ghetto rays, and so on, to complete the gravitational shield, right? That's it in a nutshell. But my calculations, if we take the energy sources of every super robot in Japan and channel them into one microwave station. Banjo, we've got problems! What's wrong, Judao? Katere? You're awfully worked up. The Titans' forces have broken through Asia's defenses and started attacking the Far East base and the EOT facility. What did you say? Those blasted Titans have invaded Japan at last! Quicker than I expected. Could this be a preemptive strike against the Preventers? Sabanchu! Yeah, no doubt about it, they want to take Project Aegis over for themselves. So that means the reason the Titans haven't interfered in Japan up until now was to let Project Aegis move as far as the final stages. So the Titans have been using us to further their own ends. Damn! What a bunch of dirty crooks! Garrison, give me whatever info you can on the Titans' tactical movements. On the double. At once, sir. Judao, Katere, you two go with Puru and get your mobile suits ready for battle. There's no doubt that they'll show up here, too. What about the Far East base and the other labs? Can we really just ignore them like that? Right now, defending this place takes priority. There are still plenty of pilots stationed in those other areas like Koji, Shinobu, Kenichi, and so on. Oh, klaxon alarms. Huh! An enemy attack! The Titans? They've gotten here already? Alright, move out, everyone! Chapter 2. Bearing Disgrace. Hey, what's that jet? I've never seen one like that before. Yeah, at least it's not a Titan's machine. Could that be? Katere, you recognize it? Yes, it looks like one of the Nubia Connections, a crime syndicate. Nubia Connection? Crime syndicate? What are guys like that doing here? Working for the Titans? Maybe. Even the Haran Corporation's intel network doesn't have much on them. They could share the same goal at least, taking control of Project Aegis. Intercept them, everyone! Roger! Hey, Judao, there's something I want to ask. What is it? We're about to go into battle. What's that? Oh, it's a container. It might have something in it, so how about we pick it up? Okay, got it! This is Chapter 2, and look, I got the Getter team from last mission. I'm gonna pick up that container with, Benkei. I didn't want to send Ryoma after it because that would have been bad. Sadly, we don't have the Getter, so cannot actually make Shin Getter, which is sad. The Queble Mark II. And each kind of terrain has certain aspects. Obviously, flat ground for the most part doesn't do anything, but certain buildings like this, defense is 25% up, the hit percentage is 25% down, so it's 25% harder for them to hit me, plus if they do hit me, my defense is 25% up, plus every time I'm on here, I get 10% energy, which is nice. Katere Robaba Wiener with his Sandrock. Awesome. One of my favorite. Gundam Wing was always one of my favorites, I think. So I hate to leave you guys like this right in the middle of a fight, but I think that's about 20 minutes so far. So after this round of attacks, I think I'll be signing off. If anyone has any ideas, do you like the talking, for instance? You want me to act out each talking scene, or do you want me to just get to the fighting? I'd appreciate your input. So let's see, Bumblebee XO versus Daitarn 3. 1, 2, 3. Daitarn 3. I love some of the Japanese themes that got going on here.
まあそっちにとっちゃ命中させやすいだろうねこの大ターンは大ターンレッグキャノン
Like, who comes up with the idea of putting rockets in their legs? Like it was just the scientist one day was just like, I would have put rockets in its foot. Oh, double Zeta. And I also want to know, who the heck came up with the idea of freaking making Bumblebee robots? Like, couldn't you make something, like, a little bit more threatening? I mean, yeah, I guess bumblebees can be scary when they're, like, swarming, but I guess if you're allergic to bumblebees, they're extremely frightening, but couldn't you, like, why did it have to be a bumblebee? Couldn't it have been, like, a wasp? Wasps are, like, 10 times scarier than bumblebees. Daitarn 3. Another thing I want to ask is that, if you guys like seeing the animation every turn, or do you just want me to like show it once and then just every time there's a new unit, just show its animation once for each attack, and then just turn off the animations, or do you guys like it with all the music and stuff? It can get rather long, but I understand. What's wrong? You're not putting in enough oomph. Ouch, Ryu. That was such a big burn. Couldn't you? Hey, speaking of oomph, you couldn't even kill a bumblebee with the first shot. Let's see if this one misses too. Oh, this one actually hit. Dang, I actually took a little bit of damage. That would suck if I died. Well, I guess that's the Let's Play curse, right? I'm actually gonna try and invade this one, which ups my my evasion, obviously, because I really don't want to get hit again. Because I'm pretty sure one more hit is death. Hayato's turn of the Getter team. He can dodge a bumblebee's mysterious laser. This is a great name for an attack. Mysterious laser. I don't know what the laser is. Don't feel bad, just pick the wrong opponent. Now it's my turn. Hey look, more Getter missiles. Oh, come on guys. You're getting them down into the red zone, but it's like close but no cigar. Try to invade this one too. Ryu is just getting the crap beat out of him. So, right now we're kind of in the middle of some stuff. Ryu's friggin' bashed all to hell, but next turn we're going to be having the Double Zeta and Sandrock getting involved in this, so I think we'll be able to turn the tide rather easily. Don't forget to shoot me a like and a subscribe even, maybe? No, probably not. I'm not good at this. But hey, you know, maybe you like that. Maybe you like that I suck. I don't know. Anyway, this is Joseph Kane signing off. Peace!